just like you. Wanna see their vision too.
Great. Welcome back to Cosmic Chat, everyone. Emily here, and today I'm so excited to have my dear friend Janine Bolon here with me. Welcome, and she is an amazing lady. She's the author of 12 books, 91 online courses, 4 podcast programs, and a radio show. So, but I know her as my friend Janine. So, Janine, thank you so much for being on my show, and I'm so excited to have you. Welcome.
I'm so glad that you finally decided to do your own show. This just tickles me pink. So thank you for having me on.
Oh my gosh, it's my honor. You've been such a great teacher for me over the years. I think we've known each other for like 10 years now and just been doing all kinds of different spiritual work together, and you've helped me so much. So I'm excited to have you on because you're so knowledgeable, and I just want to talk about the planet and kind of what's going on and what people need to do to become successful and grounded and balanced. I feel like we're kind of in a place where the energy is a little bit unbalanced.
Okay. Yeah, that's true. Welcome to planet Earth. I mean, I don't think we're supposed to ever be balanced. So some things right off the top. I was struck by lightning when I was in my elementary school years. I was very young. And it took until I was almost 40 years of age before Native Americans found me. And I was trained in the Lakota tradition of a heoka, or a sacred clown. Since then, I've worked with over 17 different Indigenous nations. I just returned from Australia after working with their Indigenous population. Each population has its own paradigms and customs. And so, as a joke, one of the people that I work with, who represents the Seneca and Cherokee at times, has called me a cosmic clown because I'm all over the globe and that sort of thing. So it was a joke, and that name stuck. So anyway, but what is a clown? What is a sacred clown? None of that really matters. What matters is what's happening on the planet. And one of the things I like to share with people is that when it comes to, you feel like you're out of balance and you're like, oh, I've got to get balanced, please realize that's a trap. It's just like Yu-Gi-Oh or Pokemon. It's a trap. I see you've, opened my trap card. One of the things I like to share with people is that balance is a trap because it requires energy. You're never in it for very long. It's temporary. It's singular. It's a singularity, as we like to say in the physics community. The singularity that has to have the perfect conditions to be balanced. This is not possible. Why? Because we're human beings on this beautiful ball of dirt that's moving at 286,000 miles per second squared as we free fall through Earth, through space, right? So as that is happening, just realize, well, what is the word, Janine? What's the word? And I like to say the word is harmony. You want to put yourself in harmony. And don't you just immediately feel yourself relax? As soon as you're like, oh, yes, okay, I can do that. Whereas when you focus on balance, you just think of all the energy you have to muster to make that happen. But if you put yourself in harmony, all of a sudden you're like, oh, okay, I can do that. What did you just do? You took a deep breath. And I would like to focus today on the fact that we crazy humans forget to breathe deeply. I'm not talking about yoga, people. I am not talking about meditation or belly breathing or Kriya yoga. No, I'm not talking about any of all that. Those are all wonderful tools and techniques. But all you need to remember is, even if you need to set your, phone to click at certain times to remind you to take a deep breath. And that does more to keep the fear, the anxiety, and the unknown at bay than any other thing.
I cannot agree more. We definitely do not breathe enough. Do not breathe enough or deep enough or for our soul. I mean, we breathe for our body. Our bodies will breathe whether or not we're aware of it or not, but we don't really breathe for our energy, like for our soul. It's a releasing breath. So there's a breath that you taught me years ago that I still use. Do you remember the one to go in through your nose?
Yeah. This is one of those things. I know you do. I know you do. This is one of those things where, because I've traveled all over the world, I pick up tools no matter where I am. I always am learning something from someone. And so if I don't attribute it to a specific person, it's only because Janine's brain can't remember. I remember what country I was in, but I don't necessarily remember who the teacher was because I've had so many amazing teachers. But this one I do remember. This one comes from Paramahansa Yogananda. And of course, he always says, and he learned it from his teacher. So who knows how old this technique is, but it's insanely simple. It's insanely simple. And I think that's why I love it so much, because the more complicated something is, the more I know we're moving further and further into duality as opposed to being in our core. So the simpler something is, the better it is for me. So if you're of that personality type, maybe this will work for you. Whenever you find your thoughts getting out of control, does anybody else have that? Or is that just me? Everybody says, teases me about being ADD or ADHD or whatever the new label is. I don't think I am. I think it's just I have a very active brain and I love to think. Okay. So if the controls like are gone and I'm like spinning out of control with too many thoughts because I've had too much hit me at once, then I know to do this technique. And this technique is you breathe in through your nose, hold it 1, 2, breathe out with 2 breaths. Breathe in through your nose, hold 1, 2, breathe out 1, 2. Hold, breathe in through your nose, hold, breathe out. You will alter your state of consciousness in 3 breaths. And that's what I love about it. Anytime I get a little too whacked out, my kids will always go, Mom, 3 breaths. I'll go, right. Because I have to be reminded. I forget. I have amazing tools at my disposal. And I forget. I'm so human.
I know, me too. Me too. I teach people the stuff that I'm like, why am I not taking my own advice? What's wrong with me? I forgot.
I give really good advice. People pay me thousands of dollars for my advice, and I'm struggling to remember it myself. I'm such a fraud, that definitely comes in as such a fraud. Well, it's just because it's your own life, right? And so that's why I encourage anybody listening to Emily's show, stay listening to this beautiful Cosmic Connections and Emily Blank, because she has a beautiful network of people that will help keep you not accountable. We're not bad children. You don't need accountability. But what we do is we remind you of your spirituality. We remind you that this human existence is just this one little blip on the ultimate journey that your soul takes. But while you're here, have a good time. There's a lot of fun being a human being on planet Earth. Do you realize this is the only place in all of the universe? And that's saying a lot because it's big. It's very big. Only place in all the universe where angels and demons reside side by side.
Yes,
It's the only place.
I've noticed.
And whether you realize it or not, you signed up for that ride. You knew the ride was opening on planet Earth. And when they opened the gate, you were one of the first souls that said, sign me up. And you had to wait because there was a line, because this is the ride. So just remember that next time you're struggling. You signed up for it. You signed up for these challenges. You signed up for the struggle because you knew you had the people, the resources, the time, and the energy to solve it and take it forward. Realize what you're doing here. You're making the world a better place by solving your problems. So keep at it. We're cheering for you.
Absolutely. I love that. I love your perspective. It always helps me just to come back down like, okay, I'm here for a reason. This is why I'm here. To have fun. You always taught me how to have fun and joyful and like love the music, the sex, and the food. That's why I came to Earth.
Oh,
Right?
yeah.
Why did you come?
I don't know about it.
That's why
I came for the pie and the coffee. I thought it was cheesecake for a while, but then pie definitely took its standard. And of course, sex is just the best fun you can have with another person who you trust, right? I mean, that's epic. So yeah, you know me, all about that. And Emily's playing to my strong suit because I'm a first chakra healer. Everybody's like, well, don't you work with all the chakras? I'm like, no, I specialize. I specialize in finances and sex.
There you go. Doesn't get better than that. Doesn't get better than that right there.
Both of those subjects are taboo in the United States, by the way.
Yeah, I know. Why? It's so natural. Yeah, I just love that about you. You can talk about anything. Janine's awesome. You can talk about anything with Janine. I should definitely connect with her. And you're a part of my Cosmic Connections, which I'm so honored that you're there. 'Cause I know you don't really need to be, but I'm thankful for your energy and for your support. So it means the world to me. And people can connect with you through our website as well, cosmicconnections111.com. And they can also find your work too, as well. What is your website? You have your own as well.
It depends. I have 15 different websites because of the different work that I do. So, depending upon what your work is, I think the best one for this conversation is go to the 8 Gates. So, it's THE and then the number 8 and Gates, GATES.com. I help people with debt free living, but that's where I really do a lot of my work when it comes to financial release and that sort of thing. It won't look like a spiritual website. That's because I was an academic, I'm a professor. I have students. I have like 682 students I take care of, and I have open office hours on every Friday. So go to that website, sign up for the Open Friday coffee, and I would love to connect with you that way. And please say, hey, I saw you on Emily Blank's YouTube channel. And I will say, fabulous. How may I help you? And we can carry on a conversation from there.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Janine. Thank you for joining us. And thank you to our audience for watching. And we hope to see you again next time on Cosmic Chat.